Yeah. So good morning, everybody. Formally and properly, my name's Symon Vegro, and I'm delighted to say hello to everyone joining today's Zoom Live and to all the increasing numbers of people who watch it later on Facebook or on our website. So hello to you all and hope you're having a lovely day. The Active in Redbourn team all hope you enjoy it. Just before we start, I've got two apologies to make today, actually. One is my hair. I'm probably not alone in really being desperate for a haircut. I haven't actually got much hair, but what little I've got is in a constant mess all the time. And secondly, and this is probably sod's law, I'm expecting a parcel from Royal Mail, which I don't know what it is. It may be a scam, but I've had an email saying it's going to be delivered any minute now. So probably at a crucial moment in the call, Royal Mail will come and expect me to answer the door. So I'll have to work around that one. And those of you that can see, I just wanted to mention my shirt. I've had some comments about some of the nice flowery shirts I've been wearing recently. It's 48 years ago this month, and for my opinion, humanity's greatest artistic achievement was released, which is an album called The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. And this is a special limited edition Pink Floyd shirt from their Pulse album. So there we go. I thought I'd wear it today on this momentous day. So with that out of the way, apologies for my shirt out of the way. A few things I do need to say each week in advance. Forgive me if you've heard it all before. It's just about housekeeping. So people joining are automatically muted with their video turned off. And if you want to preserve your anonymity still further, you can change your name in Zoom. You can use the chat function to send questions and messages. This is now being live streamed to the Redbourners page, as Olive said, and later on will be on the Active in Redbourn website. Have I forgotten anything, our lovely producing team?
You're fine, Simon.
I'm fine. I like it. I like being fine. Okay, in that case, I'm going to go straight to Sarah from the Elms in Harpenden. Good morning to you, Sarah.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, thank you again.
We've established that Harpenden is wonderful. Just tell us, look out the window again and just check.
Check, sorry?
Check the Harpenden's still looking good.
Okay, hang on. Sunny and the blossoms looking good. And I did hear a woodpecker on my way in at 7 o'clock this morning. So.
Oh, how lovely.
Yes.
These are all very good signs.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, Sarah, thanks for dialing in again and joining us. What news have you got for us today?
Okay.
Yours?
All COVID vaccine, of course, but we have now given over 11,000 vaccines at the Harpenden Public Halls and still going strong. We have invited all our over 50s, and if there is anyone in that group who have not had one, if not, why not? But please email the practice at elmsmedical@nhs.net and give your details, mobile number, because we may not have an up-to-date mobile number for you, or even an up-to-date. We have found that we haven't even got up-to-date home numbers. So if you haven't been invited, it may be that we haven't got all your details. So if you can just email that in to us, we'll make sure you are booked in. We're trying to reduce as much as possible the calls that we're getting into the practice, because we're now up to 4,000 calls a day. So it would be better if we, have those calls for people who are poorly and need appointments, rather than what is now so many thousands of people wanting to know why I haven't had a vaccine. If you're in the right category and over 50, we are able to do those. So please make sure you get in touch with your practice. We start the second COVID vaccines this Saturday, the 27th of March. So those who've had a first dose at the public halls will then start to get invites. We're already obviously starting with, again, the over 80s first. So those that came in the first time around for the first will get the second dose at about 11 weeks. It will be the same dose as the first. So if you had a Pfizer, you'll get a Pfizer. If you had AstraZeneca, you get an AstraZeneca. And we have got good supplies coming in over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're also pleased to announce that vaccine supplies will be increasing, and that our PCN has applied to continue COVID vaccinating in phase 2. So that's your 18 to 49-year-olds. So this will mean our local vaccination service will continue to operate throughout the whole of summer, and that all our patients will not have to travel to mass vaccination centres. We haven't been given a start date on that, so I can't give you any more detail. We are still, as always, waiting to hear. Right. We were hoping for a lot of vaccines over the bank holiday period. Unfortunately, the delivery people aren't delivering at all because it's bank holidays and they don't work. So although we are doing a clinic on Good Friday, and we're doing our nursing homes on the Good Friday afternoon. So that's second vaccinations. Again, the latest Harpenden Health PCN newsletter is out and on all our practice websites. And this again has even more information and all the general questions. It's got a fax, so it's got all the general questions and answers that we tend to get. So it's a good place to go to. And please keep looking at our Facebook, Twitter feed and Instagram for all the latest news. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Super. Sarah, you're doing a wonderful job up there, aren't you, Sarah?
Well, we're trying to, and you know, we've got clinics all day today, and I'm going off to do a clinic this afternoon. It's a wonderful team. You've got a wonderful team of jabbers, which consists of obviously our staff from here. We also have the Harpenden Trust helping, which has been amazing too. So yeah, it's going really, really well. We're proud of it, and we're hoping to do something further. It's very early days yet, but we are hoping to set up a mental health service for our locality, just the Harpenden and surrounding villages who are registered to our practices. And they'll be doing the same in St Albans. It won't be a one-off, but it's something that we're trying to get off the ground. So that's something new and to look forward to. But as I say, all early days, but it's the momentum from the COVID vaccine with all our voluntary groups, and we're trying to ride on the coattails of that to be able to develop further services. So it's been amazing, and I think amazing things will come of it.
Brilliant, Sarah. Well, yes, well done. Keep up the good work. I love the term jabber, by the way. When you said jabber, I immediately thought of Jabba the Hutt. That just shows the sort of world I live in. But,
they're much more attractive than Jabba the Hutt. But yes, there's a team of what we call jabbers. So you're the people giving the vaccines are the vaccinators, or as we call them, the jabbers.
I like that. So one of my friends has just qualified, or whatever the term is, to be a jabber. I didn't realise that's what he qualified. So I shall send him a message after this, say congratulations on being a jabber, with a picture of Jabba the Hutt. So thank you very much, Sarah. Keep up the good work.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me. Look forward to seeing you next week. Sarah. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Okay, now I hope to have another Sarah. It's Sarah Hinchliffe. Are you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thanks ever so much for coming on board.
It's all right.
So a couple of things, obviously just a little slot for you today. How's it been going up at the school? I mean, how can you possibly do that in a few minutes? Is that a 3-hour answer?
No, it's not. No, it's going really well, thank you. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the first lockdown.
Yeah.
It just that really hit home how much we've had to tackle really in the last year, and how much change we've all been through. I mean, everyone has, but as a school, how much we've had to adapt and how much we've had to find new ways of doing things. And we've just come out of our second lockdown, which was very different to the first one. So in the last lockdown, we had over 100 children in school every day. So people think schools are closed. In fact, you're not. We're still open to children of critical workers and vulnerable children. Yeah. And in this second lockdown, a quarter of the school was still coming to school. So
really? Wow.
Yeah, really high. From the 8th, of course, we've had everyone back, and there's only 1 or 2 children who are not back, and their families who are shielding. Everyone is back. The children are very happy to be back. I think probably the parents are very happy to have
yeah, back sure they are.
And we've had to make further adaptations really to settle them back in. So we tend to have short bursts of learning, so that they get used to a full day of learning again. And then we do lots of breaks with going out on the Daily Mile track or doing PSHE, reflecting on things, lots of well-being. But children generally really happy to be back, and it's all going really, really well.
Great. And I bet the teachers are happy to have them back, I guess.
They are, because much as, you know, the teachers were still in school on alternate weeks, so one teacher would be at home doing remote learning and one would be in school. The school is odd without all the children here, and it does feel better to have everyone back.
Good stuff. So listen, have you sort of learned anything? I suppose you've learned millions of things in the lockdowns. Have you lessons that you might continue doing once lockdown is over, just out of interest?
Yes, we have been thinking about that quite a lot. From a staff point of view, not having to travel to training is great, doing it online, and all the meetings I have to go to, I hope some of those remain online.
Yeah.
From the children's point of view, we've got them all in bubbles, and it means things are happening at different times. So for lunchtimes, for example, we used to have everybody outside all at once, which was a lot of children in one space when you can't use the field. Having them in bubbles, so with half, say, of Key Stage 2 in and half out, has been a lot better. They've had more space to play. We've been able to introduce parts of the playground and games and all sorts of things. We would definitely keep some of those things going. The remote learning's an interesting one. We still do have to do some of our learning remotely, so I have to record assemblies and everybody has to watch them because we can't put all the children in the hall at once. And
Right.
Actually that works well because teachers can pause it and have discussions with the class. So there are things that are interesting that we will continue to look at, I would say.
Very good.
And you know, we have been very, our value this half term is innovative, and I have to say we've been nothing short of innovative throughout this whole period. But just this half term we've done the Redbourn Primary Bake Off Challenge with the enchanted tea rooms in the village.
Oh, lovely.
You know, that's been fabulous, and although we couldn't taste all the cakes, you know, it was judged on how they looked. Loads of people entered that. It's been a real highlight. And we're also launching the Redbourn Fun Run today on our Daily Mile track.
Yes, I heard about that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, Sarah?
Yes, so it's going to take the whole school day. It's been run as a marathon. Each class is running one part of the marathon. By the end of the day, the whole school will have run the distance of a marathon. We're doing it as a relay, so each class, each bubble will hand over the baton, which will be wiped before it goes to the next group. And over the whole day, everyone will have run around the track, different lengths according to ages.
And what day are we talking about? What day is it?
That's today. We're doing it today.
We're doing it today?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise it. Oh, well done. Oh,
Yeah.
Are you joining in?
Yeah, I think I've got to run the last part of it along with our PE coach. So I don't think I stand much chance there against a PE coach.
The thing is to put a little sprint in at the end, isn't it? That's always a great way to finish a marathon.
Yeah, I'll trick him, pretend I'm not doing it, and then spurt at the end.
So, Sarah, I also gather that you're retiring from the school. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Sadly.
Tell us more, and we're all going to miss you.
I think this year, if nothing else, has caused everyone to really reflect on what matters in their lives. I'm in my 60s. I came to amalgamate the schools. We've done that. The school's in a really strong position for someone else to take it on the next step. I have a mum who's 85 who lives up in Yorkshire that I haven't been able to see for a year. I know she's struggling. She lives on her own, and I'm struggling with not being able to go and help her. So it's really about things that I want to do now for me and for my family. It wasn't an easy decision, but that's one of the things that have come out of COVID for me, I suppose.
Well, obviously we'll let you do that, but I just wanted you to say that on behalf of the whole village, Sarah, you've done a great job. We'll all miss you. Thank you for your wonderful work you've done at the school, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. Can I just do one quick request?
You can.
We are looking to recruit a couple more governors because some of our governors' terms of office are coming to an end. The school has been through a really exciting journey, and if you would like to be part of that, we would love to hear from you. It is a voluntary position, but governors really enjoy coming in to school and working alongside us, and we would love to have you. You don't have to have got a background in education. Anything that you're interested in or your own skill set would be valued. So if you'd like to ring the school office, we would welcome you, and we'll have a chat with you about what it would involve.
Susan, do you want to just read out the number, Sarah, for those of the people that might not know it off the top of their heads?
Yes, 01582 792 341.
Lovely, so brilliant. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, and have a lovely time back up in Yorkshire.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye. Isn't that wonderful? Don't we have some wonderful, wonderful people in Red Village? Okay, and talking about wonderful people, I'm now going to move to Will. Morning, Will. You sort of grimaced there.
I've described in all sorts of ways, but wonderful. I think you may be overdoing it, Simon. Thank you.
Anyway, it's lovely to have you back, Will, after a couple of weeks. What have you been up to, and what have you got to talk to us about today?
Well, I'll tell you why I haven't been on the call for the last couple of weeks. It's because I trained to be a processor of lateral flow tests. I just think that's a really worthwhile thing to do. So I've been involved with a team in one of the secondary schools in the area. I've been going in and doing some half-day sessions, and I think if I can keep 1,300 pupils and 200 members of staff safe through that, doing that and being involved in that, that's actually quite a worthwhile piece of ministry. Sorry,
Will, what is a lateral flow test? Forgive my ignorance.
Okay, it's the posh name for when you have that funny stick with a swab on the end stuck down your throat.
Oh, right. Okay.
You rub both tonsils up and down 4 or 5 times, and then you stick the swab up your nostril as far as you can safely go, twist it around. You then put it into a solvent that extracts the sample, and then you put it onto a plate. It's called a lateral flow test because the solvent will run the test across. It's just like some of the pregnancy tests that are out there. It works in exactly the same principle. And then when the solvent has run across, you'll be able to see a mark or 2 marks or whatever, which will say either the test was void, it's negative, or it's positive. And I'm delighted to say in the 4,500 tests that we did over the last 2 and a bit weeks, every single test was negative.
Oh, brilliant. So you'll be working closely with the jabbers.
different place, but all part of a team effort.
Very good. Oh, good stuff. Well, that's really good work. So have you got other than that, have you got any messages for us today or any thoughts?
I have. Yeah. And I just wanted to reflect for a few minutes. And I wonder if you were one of the 9.6 million people who tuned in on Sunday evening to watch the first episode of the much awaited 6th series of Line of Duty.
Naturally.
It was amazing, and it didn't disappoint. After several delays in filming and production due to COVID, we finally got to see what members of the AC-12, the fictional police anti-corruption unit, were challenged with this time. For those of you on the call who've been in hibernation for far longer than the lockdown and somehow haven't found out about this high-octane police thriller, the storylines revolve around a specialist unit within a city police force tasked with scrutinising the decisions and conduct of their fellow police officers, looking for signs of corruption and cases where the true course of justice has been perverted. This inevitably wins them no friends among their contemporaries and brings the many under suspicion. It's written by the prolific Jed Mercurio, and if I had one criticism about the first episode that's on Sunday night, it would be that there were so many hairs that were set running. It was all a bit fragmented in places, but that is the art of a good crime writer. So what are the details to pay attention to? What are the events that are odd or unusual, but ultimately of no significance? And it's all set up now to be a real rip-roarer over the remaining 6 episodes. But at the heart of that program, and perhaps why it seems to attract such big audiences, is something about trust. Which officers are playing it straight? Which officers have made a bad judgment call, but that was all it was? And which officers are corrupt? It's intriguing as much as it is gripping. But it plays on a strong sense of that has been programmed into us from a young age. You can always trust a copper. We tell our children that if they ever get lost or separated, they should find someone in a uniform. And in that old-time musical favourite, My Old Man Said, Follow the Van, we're told, well, you can't trust a special like an old-time copper if you can't find your way home. Well, there's a lot going on at the moment in our public conversation about trust and safety, much of it prompted by the shocking death of Sarah Everard. Now, I realise that there is an ongoing case being investigated and a trial to follow, And so this is sub judice. But if it does turn out that her murderer was a serving officer with the Metropolitan Police, then that is deeply shocking. And I think that in part, that's why there's been such a strong response to her death. If you can't trust a police officer, then who can you trust? And the reaction and the anger amongst serving police officers to this story underlies that view amongst themselves. Policing is a difficult job. It's about getting alongside people and being present, and there being a real trust and respect both ways round. So to use an analogy, I liken it to a good referee who barely anyone notices, but everyone knows is there, who represents control and good order and allows things to flow, but can do all of that by generally keeping their cards in their pocket and will only use them if they need to. And we know that the vast majority of police officers do a wonderful job. They work long and antisocial hours and have been exposed to real challenges and risk during COVID, but barely get a mention. And trust is wider than just about law and order. It's an important ingredient in our relationships with those in authority in all its forms, with those we do business with, and those we live alongside. And to have trust in information we're given is a product of trust we have in people. They go hand in hand, I think. Fake news and alternative facts do nothing to help public discourse and build trust in society. So as someone once said, breaking someone's trust is like crumpling up a perfect piece of paper. You can smooth it over, but it is really hard to get it back to how it was before. We all have choices in this, and I would extol the virtues and the importance of trusting others and being worthy of trust ourselves. As a Christian, I put my trust in one who will always be worthy of that trust and who knew what it was to trust and yet was betrayed, arrested and put to death, although innocent. But he never stopped trusting and loving. Trust is such a vital quality to build society and to express our true humanity. We'll see how things turn out in the line of duty and who can be trusted. But in the meantime, in our lives, I would urge us to work on our trust. As someone wise once said, trusting you is my decision. Proving me right is your choice.
That's good, Will. You're on fire today. That's a good one. Thank you. A really important message. As another Line of Duty fan, by the way, I do have to put this to you. Have you heard, obviously, there was a lot of debate about the acronym or the word they kept using, CHIZ.
CHIZ, yes.
Which I think they had to actually explain at the end of the series. Have you heard the acronym that it might also stand for something else?
No, I haven't. I think it's Covert Human
Intelligence Source.
Source, yes, that's right.
Or is it, dare I say, clearly H is Steve? I'll say no more. I was swapping messages with Rachel yesterday, who's another big Line of Duty fan, about this, and she was quite horrified at the prospect.
Well, that's quite a twist in the story, if that proves to be the case.
Isn't it just? But we don't want to spoil it for everybody else. Will, thanks ever so much. It's great to have you on again. We look forward to having you on again next week.
My pleasure, Simon.
Thanks, Will. Right, moving on. One of the things we like to do on the Newsbite is talk to local businesses and people doing exciting things in the village. And I'm now looking forward to speaking to Sean Clark, who is a local business and doing something exciting in the village. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very, very well indeed. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
So, Sean, here's your moment of fame. You're now global, and here's an opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about your little business, where it is, how it started, and what you're up to.
Okay, so basically, the brand itself is just under the name Shawns, and we started it at the beginning of the year when all the restaurants shut down, and we become out of work. So then we was down at the bottom cafe, Chandler's.
Yeah.
And we started off just doing evening food, some tapas, some taster menus, just to sort of bring my food to the village. And the demand becomes so large that we are now actually based next to the George pub, which in turn has a bigger kitchen. It has a restaurant space, But instead of having it just sat there waiting for a restaurant to open, we've actually opened up a bakery in the day, which is going to stay. So the bakery itself is open Wednesday to Sunday, 9 till 3. On weekends, we may be shutting a little bit earlier if we sell out, as the demand is so high for it. And then in the evenings, we're doing, so at the moment, we've been doing tapas and taster menus, but we've had a lot of demands to change. So we're going to move with the times, and we're going to introduce a bit more sort of street food style, which we're going to sort of reassess every month. So every month the menus will change, and we can potentially go into doing 3-course meals, burgers, fish and chips. We're going to change it up every single month. The bakery itself, everything is made on site, in-house, bar the breads at the moment, due to the kitchen size. We're using a local company called Dolce Forno, and their bread's incredibly well received by the customers so far. And yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're just bringing the best food that we do and that we like to eat as chefs, to the village.
Lovely. Well, of course, I've been in a few times, as you know, and sampled your world-beating lemon drizzle cake, which is absolutely astonishingly good. Just tell us a little bit short about your background as a chef, by the way.
Yeah, so my background is I first started out as a chef at the Cricketers pub on the Common in Redbourn, and I was there for about three to 4 years, just sort of training, learning the basics. I trained with many good chefs in that kitchen. And then the time came for me to move on. So then I basically moved out of the village, and I worked in some of the top restaurants and hotels in the area, like the Grove Hotel, the Alford Arms, and then I ended up at St Michael's Manor in St Albans, and I started there as a head pastry chef, and then within the year I took over as the executive chef of the whole building, doing all the events, all the functions, the fine dining restaurant, and all the afternoon teas and pastries that we would sell there. In 2015, I was on MasterChef of Professionals, which I got through to the top 40, which is on the live TV shows. Unfortunately, I did get kicked out at that point. And ever since, because if I got kicked out on something that was pastry based, and pastry has always been my passion, so I was gutted myself. So ever since, I've had a real drive to basically perfect my pastries and my baking skills, which has in turn led me to now opening a bakery that's becoming more and more successful as we speak. So so
something good came of it, Shawn.
Yeah, that's it.
The village of Redbourn benefited from you being thrown off MasterChef, sort of thing.
Yes, exactly that.
You probably didn't see it that way at the time.
No, at the time it wasn't, but...
Well, we're delighted to have you in the village, Shawn. Just a quick one before we wrap up. Remind everybody then your opening hours, please. Is it?
Yeah, so the bakery is Wednesday to Sunday, 9 till 3. And then our evening food is Wednesday to Saturday, and it's 5 till 9. We do recommend pre-booking the evening food with us. Even if you don't know what you want to eat yet, just book your spot. We do deliver locally. We deliver into St Albans, Harpenden, Markyate, Hemel, all around Redbourn. So just book your spot to secure it, because of the demand for the evening food is very high. So the last thing we want is you to phone up on the night and be told, sorry, you can't have anything. Sure. So the sooner you book, the better.
Brilliant, Shawn. Well, listen, we're really delighted we have such a wonderful outlet in the village with some such wonderful food. As I said, I can vouch for the lemon drizzle cake. I'll keep going on with that, which is absolutely astonishingly good. In fact, I probably shouldn't say that, because other people might buy it before I get in and it might run out. But so, in fact, it's not really that nice. Anyway, Shawn, thanks so much for coming on, Shawn.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
You're welcome. Good luck with your business venture, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks,
Cheers.
Shawn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Right now, I'd like to pass on to our lovely producer and IT director, talking about what's new in the village. Olive, is that the right slot?
Yes, that's the right slot. Here we go, the right slide as well. Yeah, there's quite a few things this week. First of all, I just want you to mention the late Tony Swindle's funeral. On Monday, the 29th, his funeral corsage will be leaving Monk's Close at 10 o'clock in the morning, and many people are going to be lining the route by way of a tribute to the late Tony. He'll be much missed by the community, and it would be lovely to see a great community turnout that morning. Next item, fireworks. Fireworks are going to happen on November the 6th. There is a big call for volunteers going out, and AIR is playing a part in finding volunteers. The best way to volunteer is to talk to Vicky Kidd in the parish centre, and what they've done this year is blocked out the volunteering sections into 1 hour slots, I think, and so you don't have to volunteer for the whole evening or the next day. You can just do the odd 1 hour slot. So do get in touch with Vicky Kidd at the parish centre. Okay, Redbourn Fun Run. Now, we've already heard about the Redbourn Fun Run from Sarah this morning, but there's actually a virtual fun run of 1K, 3K, 5K or 10K events for you and your family to sign up. We'd love to have walkers, joggers, runners, all getting so that they can all get involved in this exciting and novel community event on Sunday, the 23rd of May. So the schools are doing theirs today, but the rest of the community is doing the 23rd of May. So do come and join us. The event is being rainbow themed. So we're encouraging people to turn up with fancy dress, theme of bright coloured outfits. Anything will do. The more colours, the better. There is a nominal charge for entry, and that all goes to the Redbourn Primary School. So do follow, how to register is, starts this evening at 6 o'clock. You can register, and the website is www.redbournfunrun.co.uk. So that's redbournfunrun.co.uk. And then finally, tea and chat on a Monday morning at 10 o'clock that we started for the month of March is still going on into April. It's a bit like the community call before we get started in the morning, when we all turn up and we just have a chat. And so people are welcome to phone up to join into tea and chat on a Monday morning. You can join in for a little time or as long as you like. You can talk to us, please do, or you can just listen to the general banter that's going on. And we discuss all sorts of random topics, basically. There is no set agenda. So if you want to come and join us for tea and chat, it's going to be going on all through April. We hope once with the lockdown lifts more, we will then be able to convert it into friendly chats on the common or friendly walks around the Redbourn Mile. All you need to do at the moment is go to www.activeinredbourn.co.uk and register there for tea and chat in the Zoom room. It's on the front page. So
Olive, can I ask you a couple of quick questions about that before we move on from that?
Please do.
First of all, isn't it 11 o'clock instead of 10?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying that. It's 11 o'clock. You're absolutely right.
Because we agreed it was going to be 10 and then it became 11 on its own.
And you're absolutely right. It's definitely got a life of its own.
So it's 11 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. And the other thing is just a bit of a plea for me. I've been on it and it's a really wonderful thing to do. I'm the only man on it. So it would be lovely if there's any guys out there that want to start the week in that way. You can join in with me.
Can you remember any of the topics we've talked about, Simon?
Oh, crikey. U3A, Rugby World Cup tickets.
History of Redbourn.
History of Redbourn. The Snatch Ups, which is, of course, wonderful. How lucky we all are to live in Redbourn.
What the weather's doing.
Golf quiz questions. It's a very eclectic mix, isn't it?
Absolutely. And thank you for correcting that. It is 11 o'clock on Mondays.
Super. Thanks, Olive. Is that the end of your little update on
yes,
what's new, Olive?
Yes, that's the end of mine. Thank you.
Super. Thank you very much. In that case, we move on to one of my favourite sections, penultimately, which is the Redbourn Recommends. As we've said before, this is where people in the village get a chance to send in their recommendations for books, films, TV programmes, whatever it might be. Haven't had a Line of Duty one yet, interestingly. What's particularly good about these is that when we get the kids doing it, so I've had some absolutely wonderful ones in from little 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds, which are really wonderful and put a different slant on it. So please send them in. We've had some fantastic ones and we've got some more fantastic ones today. So I look forward to hearing today's, Olive. Oh, what a good book.
Hi, I'm Donna Russell and I'm here to offer a review on a book that I've recently read that I think is worth sharing and recommending. So I'm part of Redbourn Book Club and each month we read books from all sorts of different genres and different styles of writing. Sometimes we have guest authors and obviously we then read their books. So this month, just gone, we were going to read a classic and each month the most popular voted for book is the one that we read, and it was The Count of Monte Cristo, which was a book I'd obviously heard of but actually didn't know anything about. All I did know was that it was incredibly long and, you know, 4 times the length of the sort of books we normally read. But anyway, I didn't know what to expect, but got cracking with it, and it turned out to be one of the best books I think I've ever read. It's about, without giving the entire story away, it's about someone who's basically falsely imprisoned, and he manages to escape, and it's all about the revenge really that he takes on all the people who played a part in his imprisonment. And without, I don't want to say any more because it would just give it all away, but it's just so clever. The characters in it are brilliant. There's plot twists. It's just a real page turner, and as I say, it's a long one, so it's not a light read, but all of us in book club actually really enjoyed it, and all kind of felt a bit of a sense of achievement really for getting to the end of it. But if you love reading and you've got a bit of time on your hands, it is well worth a read. Hi, I'm Donna Russell.
Thanks for that one, The Count of Monte Cristo. And we now go on to the next one.
Hello, my name is Graham and I've lived in Redbourn for over 17 years. My Redbourn Recommends recommendation is a paperback book entitled 1950s Childhood, written by Derek Tate and first published by Amberley Publishing in 2013. It retails for $9.99. The book is a very well-researched and comprehensive look at life, mostly in working-class Britain, for children growing up in the 1950s. It's packed full of memories and nostalgia, and although it has 20 chapters, you can open it anywhere for a brief read, and it's guaranteed to raise a smile or two, and you'll find yourself saying, "Oh yes, I haven't thought of that for ages." The chapters address themes such as life at home, toys and games, school, outdoor activities, sweets and chocolate, radio and television, comics and books, holidays and Christmas, and more. For me, there are 1 or 2 popular pastimes not mentioned, but that doesn't in any way detract from the interest in the wide range of subjects addressed. Now, if you're really looking for a book that has high intellect, heart-wrenching emotion, misery, strained relations, mystery and violence, this definitely is not it. It's a fun journey that many retired people of today would instantly recognise through a land that is no longer with us. So, the book is 1950s Childhood by Derek Tate, and I thoroughly recommend it as a first-class antidote in the battle against COVID. Thanks for listening.
Another brilliant one.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Jess, and today I'm going to be recommending a series that I think will be great for your mind. It is called 7 Worlds on 1 Planet with David Attenborough. I would recommend this because it's educational and it includes a lot of cute animals. I recommend this to people who are looking for something to watch. It also gives you a great view of what people are doing to the planet. Bye.
Fantastic. I love the ending of that one as well. Absolutely brilliant. So if you've enjoyed these, as I did, please send in your own. They are really, really good, especially if you can get your kids to do it. It's a wonderful thing to do, as you can just hear. Please send your recordings into info@activeinredbourne.co.uk and keep them coming. They're absolutely wonderful. Right, we're now almost at the end of the show. We have the most exciting piece, I think, coming up, which is the Snatch Up. So before we launch into it, can I have a word with Tim Snatch Up?
Yes, Simon, I'm right here.
Morning, Tim. I've got you in sort of role at the moment. Now, I understand we have a special guest on today that's coming from a very exotic location.
Yes, we do. We're introducing as a new character today because now, unfortunately, Grandad is indisposed for this episode, so we have quickly, just rewritten as a new character comes in to make his debut on this week's show.
Fantastic. Well, as always, we'll look forward to it. So I'm going to read my little thing out in about a couple of seconds break, and we all look forward to it. And now it is time to head over once again to the picturesque Hertfordshire village of St Mary's for the 9th instalment of our weekly serial, The Snatchups. When we left it last week, Tim had become a vegetarian, Jane was busy taking photos of next door's compost heap, and Grandad and Phil Tibbs were planning a tandem bungee jump onto the common.
Well, Tim's still taking this vegetarian thing very seriously.
Yes, although I can't help thinking that there is a contradiction between his aim to reduce greenhouse gases and his diet of beans and lentils.
Still, it's good he has principles, which is more than you've ever had.
What do you mean?
Well, you were quite happy to park in that disabled space the other day.
But I was only popping in for a bottle of scotch and a scratch card, and Grandad's blue badge was just sitting there, so what's the difference? It would have been fine if he'd been in the car.
But he wasn't, was he? And you lied about your age to get a COVID jab. You just don't care. And what's that in your coat pocket?
Nothing.
Don't give me that, Stan Snatch Up. I can see it. There's a parcel in your pocket all wrapped up in brown paper.
Oh, that? Oh, no, that's nothing. I don't know how it got there.
I'm not going to stop asking until you tell me.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you because it's your birthday present.
My birthday present? But that's not for another 10 months. I don't believe you. What is it really?
You don't want to know.
Try me.
I'm looking after it for the Bellamy brothers.
The Bellamy brothers? But they're St Mary's most notorious crime family. Why would you be looking after something for them?
Well, I owed them a favour.
A favour? For what?
You remember that money I got to pay off our credit cards just before the bailiffs were due to come round?
Yes, I was surprised the bank lent us the money.
It came from the Bellamy brothers.
What? But they're ruthless. If you don't pay them back, they cut things off.
Which is why I've got to look after this package. I got behind with the payments and they said if I didn't, I'd be joining the cast of The Sopranos.
So what have you got to do?
I got to wait for a call and then deliver it to a man who will be sitting on one of the park benches on the common.
And what is in the package?
I didn't ask and I don't want to know. So now I've just got to sit here and wait for them to call.
And then what? There'll be another package and then another one. We'll be in the hands of the Bellamy brothers for the rest of our lives.
And that's not all. There's something else. Grandad's got to be there too. They gave him a package as well.
Grandad? But he's on a fishing weekend with Uncle Rodney. I saw him adjusting his tackle and it wasn't a pretty sight.
It's all right. He's on his way back. Uncle Rodney's giving him a lift.
You mean Uncle Rodney's coming here after what happened on the camping trip?
It was never proven for certain that it was him. And anyway, I had no choice. Grandad couldn't have made it back otherwise.
Well, don't expect me to trust him, or you for that matter. Getting involved with the Bellamy brothers, what were you thinking of? There could be anything in that package.
Shh, keep your voice down. Someone might hear.
Mum, guess what? I've managed to take the picture I wanted for the parish council's new photography competition.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
What did you decide on? The lady next door trimming her bush, or the man with the large cocker spaniel?
No, in the end I took one of Grandad, like you suggested. I saw him sitting all alone on a bench on the common, under a tree. He was just staring ahead, lost in his thoughts. I think he was contemplating.
I've warned him about that. It's going to get him into trouble one of these days.
Oh, it's a beautiful picture. His face looks happy, but it betrays a hidden sadness, as if past memories are still tinged with a few regrets. His eyes see everything but revealing nothing.
I've seen that look. It's why he always beats me at poker.
Anyway, I've sent it in, so we'll wait and see what happens.
I'm sure it will do really well.
Oh, I do hope so. Oh, what's that parcel?
It was delivered by accident. I was going to take it back to the post office.
Oh, well, I was just about to head out for a walk, so I'll take it if you like.
No, that's fine. I'll do it. I need the exercise while my legs are still in one piece.
Oh, okay. Well, see you later.
Oh, that was close. The sooner I get this delivered, the better, before anyone else turns up.
Mum, I'm expecting a parcel to be delivered. It's my new high-fibre organic alfalfa sprouts. You haven't seen it, have you? Oh, is that it? I tell you, you wouldn't believe the life-changing effects you'd experience if you consume the contents of that package.
Oh, they'd be life-changing, all right, and it wouldn't be due to the alfalfa sprouts. Anyway, this is a completely different package that I am just looking after for someone else.
Well, let me know if my one turns up. And in the meantime, I'll be careful, Dad. That package looks just like the ones you see on Border Force UK. If the police came in right now, you'd probably find yourself the subject of an intimate body search.
Yes, well, luckily that isn't likely to happen.
That's a shame. Be well worth hanging round for. Anyway, I can't stop. I've got a hot date with a black bean burger.
Right, that's it. I can't take any more. When is that phone going to ring? It's like Piccadilly Circus around here. I mean, who knows what idiot's going to turn up next?
Morning, all.
Uncle Rodney, what are you doing here? And where's Grandad?
Grandad's in hospital.
In hospital? What happened? Did he have an accident adjusting his flies?
No, he's got an ingrowing toenail. You should have seen it after I got his waders off. It was like pus in boots.
But if Grandad's in hospital, how are we going to deliver the package?
Don't worry, I've got it. He told me the whole story. Apparently, the Bellamy brothers told him if he didn't deliver it, they'd cut off his...
Not his crown jewels.
Oh, his satellite signal.
The unthinking monsters. It's only the prospect of RuPaul's Drag Race that gets him through the week.
So what's the next step?
We have to deliver the packages to a man on a park bench on the common. I'm just waiting for their call now.
Well, in that case, I've just got time to tell you something very important. Just before I left him at hospital, Grandad told me something you really need to know.
That must be them now.
Hello? Yes. The bench nearest the cricket pavilion. A man in a black hoodie. I understand. I am on my way there now.
But you haven't heard what I was going to say.
Oh, never mind about that now. We've just got to hope that this is not a trap.
Oh, thank goodness you're both back safely. How did it go?
Well, we handed the packages over and everything appeared to be going smoothly when the man suddenly turned round, reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope.
An envelope? Was it loaded?
Loaded? It contained a letter confirming they'd written off all your debts on the basis that Grandad promised never to mention what he knew to anyone. That's what I was trying to tell you before. Grandad found out a secret about the Bellamy brothers when he was looking through some of his father's old letters, something they wouldn't want anyone else to know. That's why they let you off so lightly.
And what was the secret?
I don't know. You wouldn't tell me it's the secret.
Oh, Well, and what was in the packages?
Well, that's the strange thing. It turns out that all my package contained was a present for the Bellamy brothers' mum. They gave it to us to keep safe so she wouldn't suspect anything and help by our silence.
So it wasn't money or drugs or anything?
No.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
No, the money and drugs were in Grandad's package.
And on that bombshell, we must leave it for this week. What is it that Grandad knows about the Bellamy brothers? Will we ever find out what happened between Brenda and Uncle Rodney on the camping trip? Will Tim's shipment of organic alfalfa sprouts completely change his life or just his bathroom habits? And will Jane's picture of Grandad contemplating win the Parish Council's photography competition? All will be revealed in next week's exciting episode of the Snatchups.
Another wonderful episode. Well done, the players, and thank you for our special guest who's come in from Devon, I think. So a wonderful performance. Thank you very much. Looking forward to next week. That's it, everybody, for today. Have a great week. Stay safe. And we all look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Until then, have a wonderful time and have a wonderful day today. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.